What immediately comes to mind when you think of the word gaslighting? An explosion, right? Well, the gaslighting I'm about to discuss is the opposite of the explosion caused by literal gas and fire. It's a subtle form of manipulation often used by those who are close to you to control the outcome of a particular event or situation. It may take the form of an ambitious coworker who wants nothing more than to steal your promotion, or the purloining boss who takes credit for your hard work. It may even take the form of the spiritual leader who makes you feel guilty when you're unable to put anything into the offering plate. The controlling parent who always knows what's best for you. Or, last but not least, your overprotective partner who claims he or she is just trying to get you to do what's best for yourself. If any of those scenarios sound familiar, pay attention. You're being gaslighted. My name is Fiona Harewood, and I'm the author of I Did It, You Can Too, River Never Smooth, Reclaiming Power After Abuse, and the just released 24 Days Prayer to the Rescue. Today, I am continuing my call to action series on fixing relationship problems. In the last two videos, I posited that 1. We should call out problems as they occur in our relationships instead of allowing bad behavior to be repeated. And 2, we must love ourselves enough that the first time we are assaulted in a relationship, God forbid, becomes the last. As previously mentioned, today our conversation is about gaslighting, a form of emotional or psychological abuse. We will examine what gaslighting sounds like and some ways to address the problem regardless of the nature of the relationship in which it exists. Rob Green, who serves as the pastor of counseling and seminary ministries at Faith Church in Lafayette, Indiana, made it plain when he said gaslighting is intentional acts with purpose of harming the victim's ability to understand reality. You may recall while addressing physical abuse, I described one of the worst beatings I received, which caused me to leave the man I was married to at the time for 5 weeks. Well, within a week of that altercation, he showed up at my friend's home to get me. She's the one who brought the beating on herself, were the words my abusive ex-husband told my friends, making me responsible for his actions. He did not saturate me with gasoline and light a match, but my friends, I was gaslighted. Gaslighting was present from the beginning of time. According to Got Questions, gaslighting is a form of emotional and psychological abuse designed to gain control over the victim. Got Questions also pointed out that gaslighting was utilized in the first temptation mentioned in the Bible. Satan prompted Eve to question what she heard God say about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then he asserted that her account was wrong. He gaslighted Eve, causing her to doubt the reality of what she knew to be true, to doubt the words God had said. Satan was the first gaslighter. Listen to the conversation recorded in Genesis 3, 1-6. Here comes Satan. Has God indeed said, "You shall not eat of every tree of the garden"? Eve's response: we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Satan, you will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Satan gaslighted Eve, twisting the Creator's words. She then concluded that the tree was good for food. It looked good, and better yet, eating it would make her wise. As a result, she ate, then gave some to her husband. This deceitful sin, gaslighting, didn't end there, but progressed even further. After both Eve and Adam ate the fruit, of course, God knew and saw the entire scenario, but he decided to ask two questions. Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? Adam's outrageous response to the infinite God is recorded in history and has aroused speculation and argument among theologians and commentators down through the ages. He said, "The woman you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree and I ate." The woman you gave to be with me? Did he try to gaslight the Creator? Mercy. We all know the end result. But God, he had already crafted the plan of salvation. So, how do you know if you're being gaslighted? Here are some examples. Psych to Go, an animated series bringing awareness of psychology and mental health to general audiences, shares examples of what gaslighting sounds like. Let's look at 5 of those examples. Before we do, however, I want to issue a disclaimer. Not everyone who uses these phrases is engaged in gaslighting. Remember, gaslighting is intentional and its purpose is nefarious. So, here are some examples of what gaslighting may sound like. 1. I am sorry you feel that way. This is not a true apology. This is a way to make you feel like you are the problem. 2. It's your anxiety that made me do the things I do. This is a common response a gaslighter uses when he or she is called out for bad behavior. 3. You need help. This implies that instead of them, you are the one in need of help instead of working through their problem. This is also called projection. 4. It's not a big deal. Gaslighters tend to minimize the impact their actions may have on you. And lastly, everyone around you isn't the problem. The problem is you. This is a tactic used to shut down conversation or dialogue and is normally victim blaming, causing the victim to feel he or she is the problem. Now, what can you do to change this situation? Here are some ways to get you started. Dr. Natalia S. David, assistant professor in psychology and a psychiatry consultant, cited some ways those in gaslighting relationships can recover. 1. If you suspect you're being gaslighted, you should ensure that you recognize the signs, learn the various ways in which gaslighting can manifest itself. The internet is a tremendous resource. 2. Leave the situation. If the situation persists, speak to a counselor, therapist, or other professional and obtain the help you will need to leave. 3. Reduce the overall stress in your life by trying stress reduction techniques such as meditation, exercise, journaling, and other forms of relaxation. 4. If you have to leave, keep yourself safe by creating a safety plan and utilizing it. 5. If you develop anxiety, address it. When you are constantly gaslighted, you may develop anxiety, which manifests itself in fear or nervousness, because you never know what tactic the gaslighter may use next. If you find yourself feeling anxious, try calming yourself by using mindfulness techniques. Be present in the moment. Acknowledge and accept what you're feeling without judgment. So, there you have it. Gaslighting, what it sounds like and ways to cope with it. In the next video, we will be examining some signs in relationships to which we must pay close attention. In the meantime, you can check out this video, Red Flags in Relationships. Thank you and see you next time.